broadcasting live and worldwide on twitch.tv and kick.com. It is your boy Joseph, and we just finished up our little ad break here on Twitch, so I believe we are ready to go kick into our live game stream right here. We're going to try to finish up Undertale Red and Yellow, and if we do so, maybe afterward, get in a little bit of time and technology permitting, get in a little bit of Mario Kart also. I know the people like Mario Kart. I like Mario Kart. Aight. But we're going to try to finish Red and Yellow here real quick. How is everyone doing tonight? Hope everybody is either fantastic or at least is half-assed decent. And if you're not, I hope it's better for you much, much, much sooner than it is not. If I said that correctly. I hope I did. Let's get into this. Lolo! Hey, how are you? Just occurred to me, did we... I don't think I ever did. I thought you'd come... glad to see you on here. Glad to have you here. Just trying to finish up this game here. Yeah, I just realized I missed like a significant portion of it, but that's okay. Because technically the end of this game isn't necessarily the end of this game if you get my meaning. We're just kind of, I guess, making a speed run of it. I have played and finished multiple endings of the original Undertale, so I am kind of aware that I've missed a couple of things here. Let me go through because it's not necessarily point of no return yet. I was actually expecting a couple of oh wait, not until we get here, and that's when the guitar starts. But absolutely, Lolo, I am glad to have you here. I'm glad to have anyone who takes the time to come by and check out this stream. You could be anywhere in the world doing anything at all, and you take that time to watch Twitch, and then with the the 11,700 streamers that are on Twitch, of all the streamers you could go to, you come to this one. So I appreciate you. Again, if it's red text, that means it's Kara. It means the red soul, and they're gonna recognize this house. This is the yellow soul is Clover from Undertale Yellow. So anybody who may not be aware, they basically took the original Undertale and they added commentary from both the red soul, Kara, and the yellow soul from Undertale Yellow. Technically was already featured in the game, but actually having commentary and being what's the word I'm looking for? Being aware of the King's Castle, yeah? More modest than I imagined. This is my home. Huh? Yeah. This is where Kara grew up. See how Kara responds to these items. There's a heart-shaped locket inside the box. Will you take it? Absolutely, I'll take it. You got the heart-shaped locket. You equip the locket. No commentary from Kara, huh? That is Kara's original old locket. There's a worn dagger inside the box. Will you take it? I will take it. I don't know if I'm going to equip it. Yo! Never mind. The appearance... Okay, the clothing appearance completely changed. That is Kara's clothing. Alright. Interesting. That room is under renovations. It is a golden flower. This took longer than I expected. A long time ago, a human fell into the ruins. Injured by its fall, the human called out for help. You took the key and put it on your phone's keychain. Despite everything, it's still you. There's so many different things in life. That right there, that phrase right there, can be applied to. So many different things that all of us go through in life. And I went through a lot, but who hasn't, right? And yeah, despite everything, it's still you. It's Asgore's journal. All the current page says is nice day today. The ink is still almost wet. It's a trophy. Number 1 nose nuzzle champs 98. It's a clothes drawer. There are robes, button-up shirts, and a pink hand-knit sweater that says Mr. Dad Guy. He still has that? It's a bureau. There's a Santa Claus outfit inside. It's a king-size bed. Fit for a king. We will be meeting shortly. Azrael, the king's son, heard the human's call. He brought the human back to the castle. This tale that these monsters are telling is in fact the Undertale. In fact, the name of this track 71 on the official soundtrack, the name of this music piece is Undertale. Seems like gardening tools. There are photo albums, scrapbooks, books on how to make tea. You need whole books on how to make tea? I always found making tea pretty simple, but I guess that's just me. The coals are still warm. It's a great reading chair, but it doesn't seem like anyone uses it. Over time, Azrael and the human became like siblings. The king and queen treated the human child as their own. The underground was full of hope. I'm still having, one of the issues I'm still having is with my green screen behind me. I can't get the light from this portion right behind me here to go away. And I've turned lights and put all kinds of like external lighting and stuff like that, and I just can't get it to vanish. Well, no, correction. I can get it to vanish. The problem is I vanish as well, which is kind of against the point. The fridge is full of unopened containers of snails. No chocolate. Yeah. No chocolate. The hell? No chocolate. No gunpowder either. What? What? Why would there be gunpowder in the fridge, bro? There is some white fur stuck in the drain. It's a note. Howdy. Help yourself to anything you want. You took the key and put it on your phone's keychain. The stovetop is very clean. Someone must use fire magic instead. Also, I've been trying to very little avail. By the way, I could say that about my entire stream, but anyway. um, I've been trying to better sync up the camera and my microphone. And the reason I don't use my camera does have a built-in microphone, but it sucks. And this microphone's pretty good. It's not, I don't, you know, it might not be the best microphone in the world, but it's pretty decent, right? And I'm trying to get this better synced up, and it seems like the more I try to correct it, I either greatly overcorrect or greatly undercorrect. There's never a perfect setting. You got it. You don't have to fudge with it anymore. No, I always gotta fuck with it. That's the problem. It would be nice if you just had like a press button here, fix stream button, and like everything just syncs up and works. That would be nice. Alright, so I do have both keys so I can unlock this. You unlock the chain. There's an old calendar from the end of 2016. A date is circled on it. It's the date I came here. You? I see. Then, one day, the human became very ill. The sick human had only one request, to see the flowers from their village. But there was nothing we could do. The next day, the human died. Kara would be that human. Azrael, racked with grief, absorbed the human soul. He transformed into a being with incredible power. With the human soul, Azrael crossed through the barrier. He carried the human's body into the sunset, back to the village of the humans. Azrael reached the center of the village. There, he found a bed of golden flowers. He carried the human onto it. Suddenly, screams rang out. The villagers saw Azrael holding the human's body. They thought he had killed the child. The humans attacked him with everything they had. He was struck with blow after blow. Azrael had the power to destroy them all. But Azrael did not fight back. Is the, hold on. Clutching the human, Azrael smiled and walked away. Is the audio and everything good? Like, I don't know if the game is, I don't know if the game is too low or if it's too high. Wounded, Azrael stumbled home. He entered the castle and collapsed. His dust spread across the garden. The kingdom fell into despair. The king and queen had lost 2 children in one night. The humans had once again taken everything from us. The king decided it was time to end our suffering. Every human who falls down here must die. With enough souls, we can shatter the barrier forever. Not long now. King Asgore will let us go. King Asgore will give us hope. King Asgore will save us all. You should be smiling, too. Aren't you excited? Aren't you happy? You're going to be free. Free from your mortal coil. So, if you are a completely murderous bastard and you just go around killing everyone and everything you come across, you've done it in this game, you might recognize this hallway. Might be a little bit of PTSD from this hallway. But we're not gonna deal with that right now. Or are we? So you finally made it. Bruh. Did it? There we go. The end of your journey is at hand. In a few moments, you will meet the king. Together, you will determine the future of this world. That's then. Now, you will be judged. You will be judged for your every action. You will be judged for every EXP you've earned. What's EXP? It's an acronym. It stands for Execution Points. A way of quantifying the pain you have inflicted on others. When you kill someone, your EXP increases. When you have enough EXP, your love increases. Love, too, is an acronym. It stands for Level of Violence. A way of measuring someone's capacity to hurt. The more you kill, the easier it becomes to distance yourself. The more you distance yourself, the less you will hurt. The more easily you can bring yourself to hurt others. But you never gained any love. Of course, doesn't mean you're completely innocent or naive. Just that you kept a certain tenderness in your heart. And no matter the struggles or hardships you faced, you strive to do the right thing. You refused to hurt anyone. Even when you ran away, you did it with a smile. You never gained love, but you gained love. Does that make sense? Maybe not. Now, you're about to face the greatest challenge of your entire journey. Your actions here will determine the fate of the entire world. If you refuse to fight, Asgore will take your soul and destroy humanity. But if you kill Asgore and go home, monsters will remain trapped underground. What will you do? Well, if I were you, I'd have thrown in the towel by now. But you didn't get this far by giving up, did you? That's right. You have something called determination. So as long as you hold on, so as long as you do what's in your heart, I believe you can do the right thing. Alright. We're all counting on you, kid. Good luck. No pressure. No pressure at all. Here we are. Your journey is at its end. Frisk, you're a good kid. Kind and compassionate to a fault. So whatever happens, we've got your back. Interesting to see how this might have changed. How dreary. The basement. This must be where he keeps the others. I'm seeing the lock that go back and forth on. I like the little subtle changes they've made to this game. It's a coffin. There's a name engraved on it. Kara. It's empty. Let's get out of here. Kara, the red soul. That is why is your coffin empty? Okay, so I will be going back and taking care of a couple things real quick, but dum-de-dum. Oh, is someone there? Just a moment. I have almost finished watering these flowers. Here we are. Howdy. How can I... Oh. I so badly want to say, would you like a cup of tea? But, you know how it is. Nice day today, huh? Birds are singing. Flowers are blooming. On days like these, kids like you should be burning in hell. Perfect weather for a game of catch. You know what we must do. When you are ready, come into the next room. It's a throne. It's another throne covered by a white sheet. How tense. Just think of it like a visit to the dentist. This is it. The end lies beyond. Are you ready? I believe in you, and I know you'll do the right thing. Stay determined. Are you ready? If you are not, I understand. I am not ready either. One thing I need to go and take care of, we'll get to that in a second. This is the barrier. This is what keeps us all trapped underground. If by chance you have any unfinished business, please do what you must. Yeah, we're gonna go back because I'm gonna need some healing items. I see. Anything you want to do is important enough. Even something as small as reading a book or taking a walk. please take your time. A final boss that gives you time, gives you a chance, and gives you time to get your affairs in order. I'm with the entire world of Twitch right now playing Elden Ring, a game I have not played once. I'm sure, though, as little as I might know about it, I'm almost positive there's not a single boss in the entire game that's going to give you the chance to get your affairs in order. Sure, go back and get any healing items you may need. Also gives us a chance to hear this banger again, so that's good. Hope everybody's having a good night here tonight, or whatever time zone it might be. If you're watching live, if you're watching on VOD, I hope you're having, a great whenever it might be for you. Whenever, however, wherever you are watching, I appreciate it. I'm going to look at something real quick. Okay, that's not a problem. I'm not worried about that. Alright, cool. Alright, bring my Twitch chat back up. There we go. $6.44. What can I do for you, little buddy? I don't have 40 HP, so there's really no need for me to get something with 40 HP. Anything else you need? Anytime, little buddy. Elevator is in use. Damn thing's still broken. The relaxing atmosphere of this hotel. It fills you with determination. Wait. Undertale looked really, really cool in that dress. Sort of makes me feel like I could wear one too. Wear what you like, homie. Wait a minute. Wait a cotton picking minute. Oh yeah, hold on. Hey, did you remember my name? Heats Flamesman, did you? Yes. What? You remember? How could I be so easily defeated? Wasn't that hard, honestly. Please select a location. Huh? Well, I gotta select that. Huh? Wait. I may have went way the hell off course here. Undertale Yellow music. Hey, I didn't know this. I didn't know that elevator still worked. Where are you going? The castle's the other way. Come on, nothing wrong with a little detour. If you say so. Wait, what? Not complaining, but what? The thought of exploring this unfamiliar place, it fills you with determination. I'm not entirely... The Steamworks, I'm not entirely unfamiliar. It's a chute. Seems to be stuck. Yo! I was not expecting this. Okay. I like it, though. The vending machine looked completely beyond repair. You get the feeling it had a nasty personality. I get the feeling half of that was blocked off, but I kind of got what it said. Okay. Alright, Frisk, going through the Steamworks. The hell? A large computer. You can hardly resist the urge to press all the buttons! An old screen. It's out of order. Everything here is... Yeah, everything here is old as shit, bro. Sorry, stranger. But this area is still being worked on. We'll try to clear it with the utmost haste. Why don't you run off while I kill some germs? Get it, buddy? Still here, doing that shit, huh? Doesn't seem to be working. Okay, so I guess that's as far as we can go into Undertale Yellow, but that's kind of cool that they actually included this area. Frisk has never been in this area before. That's nice. I like that. Also, you get that Undertale Yellow music, which is banging. That's pretty dope. Please select the location. Left floor 1. Seeing such a strange laboratory at a place like this, you're filled with determination. Okay, yeah. I didn't mean to hit it twice. Here we go. Tra-la-la. I am the riverman. Or am I the river woman? It doesn't really matter. I love to ride in my boat. Would you care to join me? Ride in the boat? Yes. Where will we go to today? Let's head back to Snowden. Then we're off! Tra-la-la. I heard Asgore has a favorite food. Yes he does. And I happen to have it. Ha ha ha. More on that later. Come again sometime. Tra-la-la. Let's continue to play Monsters and Humans. Can we please play something else? You like to wonder. You must be young. Pretty young. Ah, what a beautiful knot. Maybe if I don't answer, I'll hear it again. Ah, my patience rewards me. Ice Wolf still doing Ice Wolf things? What's up at Grillby's? Kind of same old looks like. No. What if I ran for mayor? I don't think I would do a good job, and I hate responsibility. But I love politics, so I might be a perfect match. Exactly. Adjusting the presents is my responsibility. Nah, to be honest, I just keep looking to see if I've gotten one. Fair. Huh? Yes, I'm taking my bunny for a walk. It's just a very slow one. That lady over there's been going on a walk for a while now. But she hasn't moved an inch from where she's standing. I haven't either, but I don't want her to notice me over here. Actually, let's get our let's get our HP back. Back again. Well, stay as long as you like. How about it? Here's your room key. Make sure to bundle up. Let's get that 30 HP. 30 out of 20 HP. It ain't game over, homie. Knock it off with that. Hiya, you look like you had a great sleep. Which is incredible, because you were only up there for about 2 minutes. Feel free to come back if you get tired. Actually... Alright, go through the blizzard. $3 gold for the ferry. Hop on. Thanks for stepping on my face. Here's the $3 gold. You got $3 gold. This little bird wants to carry you across. Accept the bird's offer, get ride. Sorry, just my freaking left knee is bothering me at the moment. What happens when you get old? Getting old, rated 0 out of 10, would not recommend. Hold on. Okay, I should have just went straight to waterfall then. She's playing piano. Oh, the human arrives! Are you ready to hang out with Undyne? I have a plan to make you two great friends. Will you hang out? Yes. Okay, stand behind me. Psst. Make sure to give her this. She loves these. Hi, Papyrus. Ready for your extra private one-on-one training? You bet I am. And I brought a friend. Extra private one-on-one training, and you brought a friend. Hi, I don't think we've... Why don't you two come in? He's all excited. What? It's a living. Here, Undyne. My friend brought a gift for you on their own. Thanks. I'll, put it with the others. So, are we ready to start? Whoopsie doopsie, I just remembered. I have to go to the bathroom. You two have fun. Papyrus. So why are you here? To rub your victory in my face? To humiliate me even further? Is that it? No. Then why are you here? Wait, I get it. You think that I'm gonna be friends with you, huh? Right? Really? How delightful! I accept! Let's all frolic in the fields of friendship. Not! Why would I ever be friends with you? If you weren't my house guest, I'd beat you up right now. You're the enemy of everyone's hopes and dreams. I will never be your friend. Now get out of my house. Dang, what a shame. I thought Undyne could be friends with you. But I guess I overestimated her. She's just not up to the challenge. Challenge? What? Papyrus, wait a second. Darn it. He thinks I can be friends with you? What a joke. I can make friends with a wimpy loser like you any day. I'll show him. Listen up, human. We're not just gonna be friends. We're going to be besties. I'll make you like me so much, you won't be able to think of anyone else. It's the perfect revenge! Why don't you have a seat? Humans suck, but their history kind of rules. Case in point, this giant sword. Historically, humans wielded swords up to 10 times their size, right? 10 times... You liar! I've read Alphys's human history book collection of comics. I know all about your giant swords, your colossal alien-fighting robots, your supernatural princesses. There's no way you're gonna fool me. It's so nice to have you over. Why not take a seat at the table? One time, Alphys's, friend came over here. All he did was lie seductively on the piano and fed himself grapes. I don't really like that guy. I'm thinking you're talking about Metaton, but I admire his lifestyle. I can't believe he leapt through the window like that. Normally he nails the landing! And the sink is a teacup in the shape of a fish. This oven is some top-of-the-line MTT thing. But, you know, much as technology advances, nothing beats food home-cooked with fire magic. There's a silverware drawer. It has forks, spoons, knives, tiny swords, axes, spears, nunchucks. I hate cold food. So Alphys fixed up my fridge so it heats up food instead. Hot fridge! The world's greatest invention! Alright. Sit down and progress. Yes. Comfortable? I'll get you something to drink. I'll sit. What would you like? Hey! Don't get up! You're the guest! Sit down and enjoy yourself! Why not just point to what you want? You could use a spear. Aim with arrows and select with Z. Sugar goes in tea. Soda, sickly yellow liquid. Select with Z. Hot chocolate, green cylinder, select with Z. Teapot, blatantly correct choice. Select with Z. Fridge, full of food. The fridge? You want to have the entire fridge? No. Sword, acquired taste. Believe me, I would gladly give you your fill of swords. If you weren't my beloved house guest. Tea, huh? Coming right up. Ad is about to start. While undying, it's going to take a moment for water to boil, so it's kind of perfect if you think about it. We will be back with more Undertale Red and Yellow. Okay, so we either should be finished or just about be finished with our little ad break here. So give me a little time to kind of stretch anyway, and that's kind of good. So we can get back over here to playing game. We play game? We play game. I like play game. You like play game? Play games? Games? Back here with Undertale Red and Yellow, and our tea is finally ready. It took that entire ad break. Let me mess with something here real quick. Okay. There we go. Okay, it's all done. Here we are. Careful, it's hot. It's not that hot, just drink it already. Take a sip of the tea. It's burning. But other than that, it's pretty good. It's pretty good, right? Nothing but the best, right? Absolutely precious friend. Hey, you know, it's kind of strange you chose that tea. The only tea option. Golden flower tea. That's Esgor's favorite kind. Actually, now that I think about it, you kind of remind me of him. You're both total weenies! Sort of. You know, I was a pretty hot-headed kid. No! Not you! Once, to prove I was the strongest, I tried to fight Asgore. Emphasis on tried. I couldn't land a single blow on him. And worse, the whole time, he refused to fight back. I was so humiliated. Afterwards, he apologized and said something goofy. Excuse me, you want to know how to beat me? I said yes. And from then on, he trained me. One day, during practice, I finally knocked him down. I felt bad. But he was beaming. I had never seen someone more proud to get their butt kicked. Anyway, long story short, he kept training me. And now I'm the head of the Royal Guard. So I'm the one who gets to train dorks to fight. Like, Papyrus. But, to be honest, I don't know if I can ever let Papyrus into the Royal Guard. Don't tell him I said that. He's just, well, I mean, it's not that he's weak. He's actually pretty freaking tough. It's just that he's too innocent and nice. I mean, look, he was supposed to capture you, and he ended up being friends with you instead. You never send him into battle. You get ripped into little smiling shreds. And that's part of why I started teaching him how to cook, you know? So, maybe he could do something else with his life. Oh, sorry, I was talking for so long. You're out of tea, aren't you? I'll get you some more. Wait a second. Papyrus. His cooking lesson. He's supposed to have that right now! And if he's not here to have it, you'll have to have it for him! That's right! Nothing has brought Papyrus and I closer than cooking. Which means that if I give you his lesson, we'll become closer than you could ever imagine! Afraid? We're gonna be best friends! Ready? It's spaghetti time! Mom, spaghetti. Let's start with the sauce. Envision these vegetables as your greatest enemy. Now, pound them to dust with your fists. How will you pound? Strong. You punch the vegetables at full force. You knock over a tomato. Yeah! Our hearts are united against these healthy ingredients. Now it's my turn. Yeah! We'll just script this into a bowl later. But for now, we add the noodles. Homemade noodles are the best. But I just buy store brand. They're the cheapest! Yeah! And just put them in a pot. How will you put them in a pot? Fiercely. You throw everything in a pot as hard as you can, including the box. It clanks against the empty bottom. Yeah, I'm into it! Alright, now it's time to stir the pasta. As a general rule of thumb, the more you stir, the better it is! Ready? Well, let's do it! Harder! 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 Yeah, let me do it. That's the stuff. Your pan is destroyed. Alright, now for the final step. Turn up the heat. Let the stovetop symbolize your passion. Let your hopes and dreams turn into burning fire. Ready? Don't hold anything back. Hold right to turn up the heat. Hotter! Hotter, darn it! Hotter! Wait, that's too... Boom. Ah. Man, no wonder Papyrus sucks at cooking. So what's next? Scrapbooking? Friendship bracelets? Who am I kidding? I really screwed this up, didn't I? I can't force you to like me, human. So people just don't get along with each other. I understand if you feel that way about me. And if we can't be friends, that's okay. Because if we're not friends, it means I can destroy you without any regret! I've been defeated. My house is in shambles. I even failed to befriend you. That's it. I don't care if you're my guest anymore. One final rematch. All out on both sides. It's the only way I can regain my lost pride. Now come on. Hit me with all you got. Yeah! Undyne is letting you make the first attack. Attack 11. Defense 11. This time, don't hold anything back. Show me what you've got. Do your worst! What's the matter, scared? The hell's the holdup? Come on already! Getting hot in here! Fake attack. You pretend to swing at Undyne with all your might. 1. What? That's the best you can manage? Even attacking at full force? You just can't muster any intent to hurt me, huh? You know what? I don't actually want to hurt you either. At first, I hated your stupid saccharine shtick, but the way you hit me right now, it reminded me of someone I used to train with. Now I know you're just some wimpy loser. You're a wimpy loser with a big heart. Just like him. Listen, human. It seems that you and Asgore are fated to fight, but knowing him, he probably doesn't want to. Talk to him. I'm sure you can persuade him to let you go home. Eventually, some mean human will fall down here, and I'll take their soul instead. That makes sense, right? Oh, and if you do hurt Asgore, I'll take the human souls, cross the barrier, and beat the hell out of you. That's what friends are for, right? Now let's get the hell out of this flaming house. Well, that was fun, huh? We'll have to hang out again another time. But, somewhere else, I guess. In the meantime, I guess I'll go hang with Papyrus. So if you need me, drop by Snowden, okay? Oh, and if you ever need help, just give Papyrus a ring, okay? Since we're in the same spot, I'll be able to talk too. Well, see you later, punk. I don't know if it's gonna be much of a living anymore, guy. She, sounds like only fire lives here now. You feel a calming tranquility. You're filled with determination. Sounds like you're near Undyne's house. Hey, we should go visit Undyne. I'm right here. I love when a plan comes together. Yeah. I'm visiting Waterfall from the city. Synchronicity? My neighbor's daughter looks about your age. Her name is Susie. I feel like you two should be friends. You have a neighbor's blessing. Tra la la. Care for a ride? Ride in the boat? Yes. Where do we go to today? Let's go back to Hotland. Then we're off. Hope everyone's having a great Tuesday night, Tuesday evening, Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday morning, Wednesday morning if you're somewhere on the other side of the world, or if you're watching this on VOD. Whatever the hell time it is for you there, wherever you may be, however you may be watching. Hope you have a great and wonderful and fantastic and super fabulous, amazing, spectacular, sparktacular, incredible, terrific, and good day and stuff. And things and stuff. Timmy Village, the room before the darkening lantern. Yes, I've been to Tim Village. Yeah. I've been to the village. Yeah. Come again sometime. Tra-la-la. Me too. I'm sorry. I just need to... Ow. We just straighten that leg out or it's going to fudge with me for the next forever. Yes. You're filled with determination. Alright. Please select the location. Right, floor 3. I'll always remember that you remembered. He's Flamesman. Oh, hey. We're like taking a rain check on that killing you thing. Like, don't tell Undyne about this, okay? Heading into the core, hmm? Now, the core is a huge tower of electric energy. So I don't think your phone will work through it. Oh no! What will you do without us? You have something to do, right? Well, even though without words, we'll be here. We'll be with you in spirit, okay? Yeah! You can't get rid of us! We're counting on you, so don't mess it up. All right. Let's go fight Asgore. We equip the burnt pan. All right. Well. Oh, back so soon. How are you feeling? Let's do this. I see. This is it then. Ready? How is Clover Soul there though, but Clover's speaking to me? A strange light fills the room. Twilight is shining through the barrier. It seems your journey is finally over. You are filled with determination. Human. It was nice to meet you. Goodbye. No mercy. Asgore attacks. The mercy that I like that because the mercy option is not available, but his name's Yellow. He does not want to. He does not actually want to fight, but he destroyed the mercy option. So you kind of 30 attack, 30 defense. You quietly tell Asgore you don't want to fight him. His hands tremble for a moment. Ish. Ah! Damn, his attacks are doing a lot more damage. You ate the butterscotch pie. Your HP was maxed out. The smell reminded Asgore of something. Asgore's attack down. Asgore's defense down. Damn! You eat the glam burger. Your HP was maxed out. Move. Don't move. Okay. You tell Asgore you don't want to fight him. His breathing gets funny for a moment. You firmly tell Asgore to stop fighting. Recollection flashes in his eyes. Asgore attack dropped. Asgore's defense dropped. Ah! I think that's all we can do. You're talking won't do any more good, right? Okay. Damn. Eat the astronaut food. Your HP was maxed out. I will say his attack is greatly increased from the OG Undertale. And his defense is up. His defense is up a lot. Like, I wanted to use this pen, but I might have to go to the dagger. Move, don't move, don't move. Damn it. Lamburger. HP was maxed out. Damn, they've turned Asgore into a proper final boss. Damn it. Hit by one of them. You eat the glam burger. Your HP was maxed out. Damn. Damn it. I got hit by all three. Jeez. Okay, nice. Nice. Ah! Nice. Yeesh. Damn. I don't think we're going to beat him this first attempt. Not that I'm not going to keep trying. Okay. Got hit by one. Nice. Ish. Sorry, snowman. Just move, 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 move. What do you mean I got hit? I was moving. Ah. How did that one hit me, though? Got a big ass hitbox. Okay, I just got hit by that one. That's. I'm out of items. Yeah, we ain't winning this first one. Over game. It does give us an additional talking point. Like he says, you have to stay determined. Worn dagger. I guess I don't actually have. Ready? No mercy. Finally, tell Asgore you don't want to fight him. His hands tremble for a moment. Nice. Tell Asgore you don't want to fight him. His breathing gets funny for a moment. Damn it. Yo! Firmly tell Asgore to stop fighting. Recollection flashes in his eyes. Asgore's attack dropped. Asgore's defense dropped. Ah! Tell Asgore he's killed you once before. He nods sadly. Yeah. The dagger makes a lot of difference there, actually. Don't move. Gotcha. Ah! Create the butterscotch pie. Your HP was maxed out. The smell reminded Asgore of something. Asgore's attack down. Asgore's defense down. Ah! Fitty! Ah! 48. Nice. 46. I got hit twice? Into climber. HP was maxed out. Ah! What? Pity. Bro! Nice. Wasn't too bad. 59. Damn it. That might have been a mistake. I hit him for 70 though. Just move, move, move. Okay, nice. I turned that ended up paying off pretty well actually. 62. Alright. Ah, yo, yo, yo! Nice. Weird that the small ones tend to have. Weird that the small ones tend to have. The hitbox is the hitbox for the small ones are much larger than the actual projectile, but for the big ones, they're probably about the same. Nice. Ah, I got hit by that one. You eat the clam burger. Nice. And 72. She reapplied the bandage. 10 HP, huh? Very good. Playing World of Warships. Of course he is. You would think me, being the former Navy guy, I would be playing that more often. You would think. Bruh. Damn, bro. $803. I don't know if Mario Kart's gonna happen or not. Let me see. Like, I was gonna finish this up and play, maybe play some Mario Kart. I don't know if we'll be able to finish this up tonight. Freaking Asgore, they made Asgore a like I said, a proper final boss. So what I might end up doing, I might do this off stream because this is gonna be boring as shit to watch. Going into waterfall, tensing on a boat is dangerous, but good exercise. The only time I've ever tried dancing on a boat was on board an aircraft carrier. So. Yeah, so I'd be going back and forth between Tim Village and Gerson's shop. Whoa! You got Cloudglass? I gotta have that cloud glass. I gotta pay for grad school. And Tim always wanted cloud glass. For 51G, no. But, for 65G, yeah. For a notebook, for 50G, yeah. So, actually, hold on. Let me see. Right now, need 2,400 at right now for Timmy armor. Make a battle too easy. No. Boy. So, you feel something. You're filled with the Temmie Nation. Yeah. So, I will do that off stream because that's just, nobody's going to want to watch me go back and forth between Gerson Shop buying cloudy glasses and Tim Shop selling it. Excuse me. Make enough money, and I can afford, especially now, I can afford the Temmie armor. It's going to take a minute, but it's doable. So, what we're going to do for now, what we're going to do right meow, is, let me see who is beyond here on stuff, because we're going to raid. I want to thank everybody who has watched this video, whether you were watching live or you're watching on VOD. I want to thank anybody who would take the time to watch me at all. Let me see who all is on. Let's see. Jimmy Ray Show is doing it. Prince Muggsy. Yo, my boy, Muggs. My boy Muggs. We gotta go hit up Muggs. We got to hit up Muggs. So, we are going to, here on Twitch, we're going to raid out to Prince Muggsy. Those of you who are watching on Kick, stream is just about to come to an end. Unfortunately, they don't have a simple raid option. Prince Muggsy is playing Dead by Daylight, one of my IRL friends from professional wrestling, and now my fellow Raytopian here. By the way, Raytopia, be sure to check out The Jimmy Ray Show on Twitch. The Jimmy Ray Show on Twitch. Be sure to check out Prince Muggsy here. We're about to hit him up with the raid. And once again, whenever, wherever, and however you are watching this, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for watching this stream here tonight. My name's Joseph, and we are out this bitch.